So today we'll be doing 1.3, which is writing algebraic expressions. So go ahead and follow along in your notes with me. This is one of my favorite things to teach because you guys are going to be using it your entire life. So when we talk about writing algebraic expressions, I always talk about and ask students what will be changing and what is staying the same.
In the launch, you described a real-world situation using words or symbols. You can also write algebraic expressions to represent real-world situations that have an unknown value.
All right.
Drag the tiles to complete the table.
Think of all the problems you have done that included a line or a box to fill in. Those lines and boxes were symbols that represented unknown numbers, so they were acting just like variables. Who knew? Now you'll be using letters as variables. I'm not sure why, but mathematicians seem to love the letter X.
So if it says a number plus 20, well, using the things we learned in 1.1, we know plus means addition. So I can use any variable. This could be A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, or Z, and it's still a variable. So a number plus 20, any number plus 20, well, that's the algebraic expression. Remember we talked in 1.2 about algebraic kind of sounds like alphabet, so it includes letters, okay? 20 divided by n. Well, looking over here, what word goes along with division? Well, divided by. So 20 divided by a number. Well, this looks like that could go there. What about subtraction? We have number plus times difference or divided by. Well, I know that difference goes along with subtraction. Addition goes along with plus. And that must mean that the difference of a number, so any number being my variable, minus 20 must be my algebraic expression. Awesome. So those are our answers. Go ahead and freeze and put them in your notes. Good job. On to the third question.
What is an algebraic expression for 18 more than A?
So remember, they're not asking you to solve this. They want you to write an algebraic expression, which is essentially a sentence. So if they want you to write 18 more than A, I want you to underline the word more than. So I know that I'm going to have the number 18. I'll have some symbol that represents more than, and then the letter A. Here are some of your answer choices. Go ahead and write what answer you think it's going to be. You can freeze your screen if you need to. Okay, the correct answer should be 18 more than A is A plus 18. Determine the operation. Well, they saw that more than means addition, and then they want you to write the expression. So an algebraic expression for 18 more than A is A plus 18. Let's go on to part 2. It's thinking.
Did you ever wonder why the letter A is used to represent area or P is used to represent perimeter? It's because it's easy to remember. You can use any letter to represent an unknown quantity, but it makes sense to choose one that will remind you what it stands for. It's all up to you.
So it says when writing algebraic expressions, you can choose any letter to represent an unknown quantity. So if you're saying or you're trying to solve for the amount of sodas to purchase, are you going to want to use Z? Well, probably not. I would use S for soda or P for pop. So think about that when you're trying to find a variable.
A state park has 3 lakes. In the spring, each lake was stocked with the same number of fish. What algebraic expression represents the total number of fish in the lakes?
So this guy right here is bringing fish to each of these ponds, these 3 ponds, and he's putting the same amount of fish here, the same amount of fish here, and the same amount of fish here. So if he has F fish in this pond, F fish in this pond, and F fish in this pond, how can I figure out how many fish are in the 3 ponds? What do you think? Freeze and write down what you think he can do. Okay, if F represents the number of fish in one lake or one pond, then I can multiply 3 times F. Now I bet, knowing some of you, you probably said, well, Miss S, I can just do F plus F plus F. Yeah, you could, and that would be the same thing as saying 3 times F. So the expression 3F, where F is the number of fish in one lake, represents the number of fish in all 3 lakes. All right, on to part 3. Or sorry, part 2, question 3. Still thinking.
Spring Lake is 3 miles shorter than Grand Lake. Write an expression that represents the length of Spring Lake, where L is the length of Grand Lake.
So if I have L, go ahead and write the letter L, and that is the length of Grand Lake, I know that Spring Lake is 3 times shorter than Grand Lake. So which of these do you think would be correct? If L is Grand Lake and Spring Lake is 3 miles shorter than that, which one would it be? Well, this is saying the lake plus 3 miles. Is it 3 miles longer? No, it's 3 miles shorter. This is saying 3 miles plus Grand Lake. This is saying Grand Lake minus 3. And this is saying, well, it's going to be 3 miles minus the Grand Lake. Which one do you think it is? And why? Go ahead and freeze your screen. Okay, you should have froze your screen and picked one. The correct answer is going to be L minus 3 because shorter indicates subtraction. Length of Grand Lake, that's your total, minus 3 is 3 miles shorter. So the length of Spring Lake is L minus 3.